Welcome back to the half hour of power. I am joined here with special guest Mark from the Toys of Time Gone By and special guest Brandon from Popcorn. Hey Brandon, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Mark, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Huh?
How are you, Mark?
I'm doing all right. We love our movies. Look at my background.
Ghostbusters, Terminator. Nice.
We've got a fun little thing we wanted to talk about. I sent you this article, Mark. What do you think of this?
I have my opinions about it. A lot of these movies, we're going to get into it though. A lot of these movies, I definitely don't think they needed sequels, but that's my opinion about it.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think even some of these movies shouldn't even been made at all.
What?
Wow.
So they don't need sequels. They don't even need movies. They don't even need.
They didn't even need to do that movie. So we're gonna, and this is gonna shock some people that expect us to always go to Screen Rant.
Yay!
We're going to go here, and this is from Movie Web. Action movies from the 80s that need a sequel. With 1986's Top Gun finally receiving its sequel, we here at Movie Web needlessly found 5 other 80s action movies that needlessly need sequels.
It's dire need.
Did you get the chance to read this, Brandon?
I had to do a real quick, brief skim of it.
How
There's
often
two now. Well, it's two movies.
You to roll your eyes and shake your head?
Well, on some of them, yeah, but 2 that I believe that actually needs a sequel, which is one is The Last Starfighter, and then 2, Big Trouble in Little Chinatown. Those 2 I will stand by that need an actual sequel at the end of it because they was great movies to me. What?
What?
Yes. You cannot tell me that you cannot see Chris Pratt playing in Big Trouble in Little Chinatown.
No, I can't.
Joe.
So Brandon thinks some of them need sequels. Mark thinks some of them didn't need to be made. I don't think any of them need sequels.
I have to say that
Very
the
good.
Last
We got a nice
Starfighter.
mix right here. A nice mix.
I have to say that The Last Starfighter. I'm not saying. I think the movie standalone. It's a great movie, and I also think that if they did make another Last Starfighter today, it would have to have a video game that went with it to make it. That would be cool if you think about it. If it would have a video game that actually went with the movie, so you could watch the movie and play the video game like everything else they do now. So I think that would be cool, actually.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
They'd be doing like they did with the Matrix back in the day when they came up with video games. It was kind of tied into the movie.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, you ready? You guys ready to go down the list?
Yes.
Well, the first one.
Yeah, here we go. What's the first one? And then they go over some of this silliness here that I can't even read it. It's like gobbledygook.
Blah, 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 blah,
okay, so The Last Starfighter. So what are their reasons? Look at that. That's a big paragraph. Look at that. Look how big that is. That's probably some really, reasoned. I can't even punch any holes through that probably. One of the films on this list that is rumored to be getting a sequel from Greece. A simple teeny bopper. who lives in a trailer park, is suddenly spooked into an intergalactic conflict after he gets the high score. What's a high score? Do we even do that anymore in games?
I don't think
They
it's so
slowly
bad.
bringing it back. They
I
are
don't
slowly
know.
bringing it
I
back.
think you lost a lot of people on that high score stuff. Nobody knows what that is anymore.
Unless you're playing Atari's Asteroids.
This is one of the better science fiction action films of the 80s. The Last Starfighter has been almost forgotten by modern audiences, setting it up to be an ideal candidate for a sequel, especially now in an unprecedented era of the rise of sci-fi films. We've never seen an era like this before. Can you guys believe that? There's
I don't
never been
believe
an
it.
era like this. It's unprecedented.
What about the 50s and the 60s?
Don't you go back to the 50s and the 60s where there was an unprecedented rise in sci-fi action movies, Mark. Don't you dare do that.
like
What's
Flash
there?
Gordon and
I think if James Cameron took a film like The Last Starfighter and changed it and made it James Cameron and made it into Avatar, it would make billions.
No.
Oh,
It'd be like Michael Bay Transformers. It will flop.
it could. I don't think that needed a sequel. That needs a sequel, and my reason is I think they're just going to mess it up. What about you, Mark?
Well, I don't think it needs a sequel. I think that what it would need is, I think that for today's standards, it would be cool to see a refresher, but not a sequel.
Oh, you want a remake?
I would want something that they brought out now, but I'm saying stand alone. I'm not saying touch this movie. I'm saying stand alone. So this way they can bring all these you could play the video games. You can you know what I'm saying? Like it would be like almost like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mark wants the video game.
I want the video game.
Okay. What about you, Brandon? Why do you want a sequel to this?
Because it kind of left up in like a open ending to the end of the movie. You know.
It did. I agree. They did leave it open for sequel. So
yeah.
And
we talked about this last night too. About back in those times that they left it open for a sequel to come through eventually sometime in the near future, like now. Make the movie.
Maybe the time is right. I mean, I could see them doing a sequel to this. I definitely would rather it be a sequel than for them to remake it. Yeah,
I totally agree. About that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
That might be.
I agree with just making it a sequel instead of just rebooting it, because when they do something like that, they're gonna definitely mess it all up.
Oh yeah, all right. Let's go down to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Uh-oh.
Look at that massive paragraph. Look at that.
That's huge.
It's great.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get through all the points in this paragraph. Epic direction for the master of horror, John Carpenter, and starring a young Kurt Russell.
A young one.
In any of the Disney movies he did. Follows the story as they go through this and do that with this and that, and a mix of action and that, and a bit of fantasy with that. It failed at the box office. Over the years, it's a cocos. No. No.
What do you mean? Yes. Okay. So So I'm a comic book nerd. So they have actual did I am. I can prove it and I can show it to you. Anyway.
I can prove it you're not. I can prove it.
Okay, go ahead.
Brandon likes the movie Man of Steel. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, here you go.
Wow.
Okay, go on, Brandon.
Well, that wasn't a bad movie, though.
Thank you. See that? Mark, you're A1 in my book, okay?
Thumbs up.
Okay, go on, Brandon.
They did a graphic novel sequel to Big Trouble in Little Chinatown And I think it's like if I'm wrong, and if somebody in the comments they can correct me, but I think it's like 5 books to it. If I'm correct, if I'm not, please someone correct me. But there's a good story behind it. So them doing a sequel would be great because those books are good. It picks up right when it left off, right at the end when he's driving and you see that monster come out the back of the truck. It picks up just right there.
Okay. How about you, Mark? You think they should make a sequel to this?
The truth of the matter is, I don't really care for that movie.
What
So
the?
that's the truth of the matter. I don't really care for it.
What the?
So this is one of the movies
What's
probably
going
I
on?
just feel like they don't need to be.
What the
That
fuck?
didn't even need to be made.
What the? Brandon wants a sequel to this. Mark doesn't like this movie, but likes Man of Steel. What the? What?
Well, I can understand.
I don't know. I just
the
don't.
Man of Steel.
I wasn't big on that movie.
Okay, so you wouldn't want a sequel anyway because you don't
Nah.
like it. Okay. And again,
I mean, when I watched it years ago, I wasn't big on it. Maybe I should just revisit it again.
Yes, yes.
maybe.
And also too, we got to remember this movie created one of the Mortal Kombat's iconic characters. Raiden came from this movie.
Oh, that's right.
That's cool.
That's right. Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
gotta revisit
yeah.
this movie again.
Okay. All right. Let's see. What do we have next here? What's next? Midnight Run.
Oh, I love it. I love that
they
movie.
shouldn't do that. Look at that paragraph. Another 80s action film that does actually have a sequel in the works. Then why is this on the list then if there's already a sequel in the works? With Robert De Niro to return, Midnight Run is an underrated Robert De Niro classic. After an infamous ex-mafia accountant breaks free from jail, bounty hunter Jack Walsh is sent to hunt him down. A variety of obstacles and heartbreaking backstories stand in the way, but ultimately everything ends up okay. This true crime genre is always popular with new technology now. We can make a great true crime. Really? Come on.
What?
Oh my God.
Doesn't need it.
With new technology.
Doesn't need it.
All right, Brandon, what do you think? Does this need a sequel, Midnight Run?
Okay, so I have a confession. I never seen it.
You just shocked him twice. We shocked him twice.
I know.
Tonight.
I haven't seen it. I have not seen it.
I love it.
Well, you got to see that. Mark, does it need a sequel?
No, it stands alone. It stands by itself. It's a great movie, funny movie. It's got a lot of action in it. It's got, like I said, it's a great, great movie. And the thing is, De Niro can return. The other guy's passed away, so I don't know how he can't return. You know, I like. If you don't get the both of them, they go, what's the point of making a sequel?
I don't know. De Niro's not doing anything.
But why even bother making a sequel? He's too old to. De Niro's number one, too old to be a bounty hunter. Come on, he's got to be in like grandpa movies now.
I don't know. You just digitally put his face on a young actor's body, and that's what you do now. And then he can
or he have a protege. That's the only thing that's the only thing they do now. You know, hey, I'm passing the torch over to you now. So then next you look up and it be on Amazon Prime as a series.
That's all I do now.
There you go. So
or Disney Plus.
Yep.
You gonna watch this movie now, Brandon?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it now.
It's funny.
Okay, let's go down there. We see that the number 2 is Silverado. No. Okay, so that's a really tiny paragraph. Arguably the best Western film since the genre began to fade slightly. Silverado follows a group of 4 cowboys who arrive in the fictional town of Silverado, only to discover that it is in the clutches of an evil sheriff. Directed by Lawrence Kasdan, Silverado contains fantastic set pieces, like a Wild West shootout stampede, a plethora of gunfights, and absolutely top-notch cinematography. A sequel for Silverado should be in order and could potentially work to revive the Western genre for modern audiences. No. Now, you guys have seen Silverado, right?
I haven't.
What the? Brandon, you've seen Silverado, right?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, he's gonna go watch it.
He can't go watch it. It's pretty long.
He's gonna go watch the trailer.
Okay. All right. So
trailer.
Okay, so you see
gone?
you see who's in that. So, Kevin Costner, Scott Glenn, Kevin Kline, Danny Glover.
Oh, really? That's Danny Glover?
Yeah, this has got a fantastic cast. You also got John Cleese is in it, Ryan Dennehy.
Okay, John Cleese. Okay.
Jeff Goldblum.
Really? So it's like basically an all-star cast, all-star cast before all-star cast.
All-star West. All-star. So, yeah, came out in 1985. It went up against Pale Rider. Tell me you've seen Pale Rider.
Kevin Costner?
Say what?
Isn't there?
You've seen Pale Rider, right?
Never heard of Pale Rider.
What? Mark, have you seen Pale Rider?
What? What is
it? Okay.
I'm not big. I'm not huge on westerns.
What?
The only western I really liked was Tombstone,
which was a great movie.
Which was an amazing. That was.
I Can Be Your Huckleberry.
That was like the best western.
We should watch this western. It's really good. So Lawrence Kasdan made it.
You'd be a daisy if you do.
You bring up Tombstone. Lawrence Kasdan also directed the lesser version of Tombstone, the movie Wyatt Earp with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You've seen that one, haven't you?
I've seen it.
You saw Wyatt Earp?
Yeah, I saw Wyatt Earp, and then I saw Tombstone.
Tombstone's definitely better.
Yeah.
Tombstone is better. Yeah. Now this is a really good one. It's a really good western. I would recommend you guys check it out because Brandon.
Yeah.
After you see it, I want to know from you: are the shootouts cheesy?
Okay. I definitely do that.
That's what I want to know. Now, at the end of this movie, Kevin Costner is riding away. So Kevin Costner and Scott Glenn are brothers. And he's riding away, and he says, "We'll be back." So it kind of felt like they were going to make a sequel to it, but it just never happened. So I could see them doing that, but I don't think it needs it. I think
the sequel is called Yellowstone.
Oh,
because Kevin Costner's in that.
No, I hear you.
I think the sequel was called Gone Fishing.
All right, let's see what number 1 is. You ready?
Yeah.
Yep. Let's go.
Runaway. Oh! Look at that. That's got 2 paragraphs.
That's a big article there. I don't think you'd be able to read that.
All right, you guys ready? I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen Runaway. Have you seen
Me
Runaway?
either.
What? You haven't seen it? That's a shock.
I've never seen it. So who's gonna face palm?
Technically.
Hey, if you never seen it, then it probably didn't need to be made.
Well, have you? Have you seen it, Brandon?
No, I never heard of it.
Okay, well you can
Now,
see there.
well, I do know that Michael Crichton wrote it, right?
Yes, oh yeah, and you can see that Mark's favorite bassist is in it, Gene Simmons.
Oh my God!
Oh wow,
Really?
he is.
Yeah,
Why? He did the only movie. What? The only movie he did was that Kiss movie back in the Carnival, back in
Yeah,
1977.
that
Oh,
was a funny movie.
well
That
they
was a great movie, but funny at the same time.
yeah so yeah I don't know, I've never seen it. I've always heard about it and I've always meant to watch it, especially because Michael Crichton's name is there. Um, I just never have gotten to it. So Runaway,
it might be a
Runaway.
decent movie. It
It
might
might
be a decent movie, huh?
Runaway gets the edge here, as it does not have its own television show starring Tom Selleck. That's too bad.
Oh, we
I,
came back
I,
at PI.
Runaway follows Jack Ramsey, a police officer who hunts down a case of murdering robots. What the
What?
hell?
What?
Is that Blade Runner?
Westworld 3.
Okay, we can't really count. We can't count Future World. So
Yeah, the maker of these robots, Dr. Luther, played by Gene Simmons, uses these robots to eliminate his competition and retrieve stolen templates from his former lover, Jackie Rogers. The film bombed at the box office, ruined any chance for a sequel.
well,
Is this
I
supposed
don't
to
know. I mean,
be?
that sounds interesting enough to me.
Was
I
this
would,
supposed to be
I would watch
Westworld? Like a Westworld thing?
Westworld 3 with Gene
Really?
Simmons. Like Gene Simmons says, I want to be in Westworld 3.
No, this is
but
supposed to be like Westworld 2?
oh no, that would be Future World.
It's not.
That would be
Uh,
Future World.
Oh.
It's not. I don't think it has anything to do with Westworld, other than Michael Crichton wrote and directed Westworld.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
that gun looked so familiar when I seen it. It looked like it came from out of Future World. Just saying.
Very interesting.
It could have. It could have come right
Now
out of there.
I got to check that movie out now.
Yeah, I got to watch that too.
I like that, those kind of movies. Like, it kind of reminds me of the old movies like Death Wish and all that, where Bronson is like this bad, I guess I don't want to say a curse word on this. No, you might have kids watching this, so I don't want to say it. So I mean,
but
like,
you've already said a few curse words. You've already cursed a few times.
I did not. But like, it kind of reminds me of the action hero, like Charles Bronson. He's making that action pose, like with the gun.
Oh, Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons. What does Gene Simmons do in this movie? Put his tongue out, like, and be like, I have a tongue that stops bullets.
Gene Simmons plays the maker of the robots.
Oh God!
Yeah, so he's the bad guy.
He is a robot, though, Gene Simmons.
He might be a robot. We don't know.
A robot.
Okay, so here the second paragraph it talks about. Here we go. So the 80s were a fantastic time for film and cinema, from all-time classics like The Empire Strikes Back, Rambo, and Aliens, and many, many more. Audiences were treated to a variety of new worlds and stories, with a lot of those movies getting sequels or B sequels. With Top Gun getting its own sequel, it's time for them to get their sequels.
It's called Top Gun in the Nursing Home.
Seems like he's reaching here, Trey. Trey is reaching.
He's reaching pretty hard. I mean, yes, they always been talking about a sequel of Top Gun for years. You finally get one. It's doing great at the box office. Now everybody's like trying to jump on board on that little high horse right now. And then somebody's going to make another 80 sequel, and guess what's going to happen? It's going to bomb.
Yep. Well,
Yeah,
Berlin should come back with a new song for the Top Gun franchise. It should be "Don't Take My Oxygen Away." Gonna take my oxygen away.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's I don't know, like, and then what are they doing in the movie? They brought back Val Kilmer, but they're using they're using a they're recreating his voice.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'll say I haven't heard anything bad about that Top Gun sequel. Everybody I've talked to has seen it, and loved it, or liked it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard
I never
anybody
even
that
watched Top Gun 1.
like. You haven't even seen Top Gun?
No,
Huh?
not interested. I'm not interested in that movie.
Well, Mark, they had the video game too.
I have the
Top Gun
video
1 and
game.
2.
You gotta watch it at least once.
You got to find to the
Video
danger
game
zone.
hard. That's a hard video game to play.
I learned that, you remember back then it was so hard to land a plane on a carrier.
Yep.
Well, I learned, the coordinates is sitting right there on the screen. So the only thing you have to do is just follow the coordinates and you land there perfectly.
Wow. Okay. I always crash the plane.
Now, trust me, I did too. I always flew over or right at the beginning of the plane crash.
And then I would go, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And then I would shut it off.
Actually, when it comes to that part, I just let it do it itself, and then, all right, on to the next.
I don't know. I could never master that for something. I was an Afterburner kid. Like I would play
Wow.
Afterburner.
Wow,
That game was
I remember
cool.
that game.
That was a cool game.
So, Mark, what do you got going on over there at Toys of Time Gone By?
Well, I made a couple of new videos. I made a video, just a real quick one, about what everybody thinks is better, the real Ghostbusters or the original Filmation Ghostbusters. So I wanted to get people's ideas and comments about, that was my newest one, comments about what they thought was a better, like, show and toy back in the day.
Well, I can answer that one. From my opinion alone, will be the real Ghostbusters, the animated series, because I love the toys as a kid, and I also love the cartoon that matched with it, and that's what I know and I grew up with.
Mhm.
Now, I'm not knocking the original Ghostbusters movie. That's the classic. I love it to death. Not hands down. But when it came to the toys, it's the real Ghostbusters animation series.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to watch because I'm probably old. I'm probably much older than you. I'm thinking. So when I was a kid, I used to.
That much.
No, probably not. How old are you?
I'm 41.
Oh yeah, I'm 49.
See, not that much.
So I mean, I used to watch the original Filmation Ghostbusters show all the time before the real Ghostbusters came on the air.
Right.
And I tended to really like that version of the because I was younger and it came on the air, so I would watch that a lot more than when later on the real Ghostbusters came on. I used to watch it, but the Filmation one was the one I actually saw. I used to watch all the time, so I kind of liked the way they did that. But originally, they came out with a live action Ghostbusters show back in the 70s. I don't know if you remember, Joe. Remember the live action one with what's that guy? What is that? From F Troop. Those guys from F Troop.
Yep.
And so I actually did not know that existed until like years later. And I was like, what? It had like a season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't even know that was the actual original Ghostbusters, but they had to, I mean, for another time, but they had to actually get the name and clear the name before they could use Ghostbusters, the actual 84 Ghostbusters had to clear the name before they can actually use the Ghostbuster because it was tied to that already.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know they did it for the animated series also. That's
Yeah.
why that one's called the Real Ghostbusters instead of the. I think it was a Hanna-Barbera adaptation of the Ghostbusters. So it might be that cartoon off of that original Ghostbusters because this is the first time I heard of that.
Yeah, and you know what? You could see the Filmation Ghostbusters on YouTube if you wanted to check out some of the episodes. They're actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, and they have a nice theme song. I really love the theme song.
Nice. I'm gonna take a look at it.
But you could pretty much see all those old cartoons on there.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That day.
Oh, trust me, I found Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, the
Oh my
animating
goodness!
series. I haven't seen it in a long time. It was just one day I was thinking of tomatoes, and then I started singing a song, and I was like, I need to watch the cartoon.
I remember that. I remember that. But
Hey,
there's a
Brandon,
guy. There's a guy on YouTube called Moan Media, and he's got blocks and blocks of Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know where he got them, but with commercials and bumpers and everything. I
Oh
don't even know where this
wow!
guy got them. But like I'm talking about, you got blocks of 3 hour blocks of just straight cartoons with the commercials and everything. Like
I need to
you were
look him up.
turning your TV on, huh?
I need to definitely look him up because the only thing I catch is like not Ghostbusters, GI Joe. I
Yeah,
catch the
with
GI
GI
Joe
Joe.
block. That's
Mhm.
the
They're
only
good.
one I catch.
But the things, if like I even put like a link in some of my videos for your show, Joe. So like some of the people could click on find your show and watch your show. So I've been doing that too, putting links in to connect to this show. So people can watch that and then come over to yours, or whatever they feel they want to, if they want to be entertained, they want to look at our mugs while we talk about movies here.
Yeah, that's the worst
Yeah.
part about this. People get to see us.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, so Brandon has been a guest on the Half Hour Power podcast quite a few times. So
Mhm.
thanks for coming on over to the live stream, Brandon.
Thanks for having me. I'm
Did you
I'm
go to
really happy
PopCon
about
this
that.
year? Because PopCon was just this past weekend here.
Yeah, no, I didn't get to go. I wanted to go. PopCon is my favorite, con here in Indianapolis. I don't work for them officially. I don't work for them at all, technically. I just was a volunteer 1 year, well, actually 2 years. And
Mhm.
I kind of like their theme and what they do is support, artists and, the comic books and YouTubers and the whole 9 yards. Actually, this particular one, Markiplier, real big YouTube guy, signed the back of my shirt, and I got pictures to prove it. Anyway,
That's
but I
cool.
just like to
Yeah, it is cool.
it's a little self promotion. They're not paying me for this, so it's not like it's advertisement or anything. So I
I
just
watched that guy
enjoy.
before.
Yep.
I've
Actually, he
seen
just
that
came
guy
out with a
before.
new thing too. So
Okay. Okay, well, we had a fun discussion here about 80s action movies and sequels or no sequels. So thank you guys for being on.
Oh, you're welcome.
And
Great.
love it, baby.
we will see everybody next week.
We will be here. You better be.